Hi, welcome to Financial Education for the Nation. I'm here this week back with Paul. How are you, Paul?
Hi Warren, I'm good, thanks. You well?
I'm very, very good, very good. My favourite time of the year. So the autumn, we still have light evenings, get a bit cooler. The trees are changed quite early this year. So yeah, it's nice. The run up to Christmas is my favourite time of year.
Okay, well, quite topical as well, because with schools and universities going back or shortly to go back, we're going to be talking about raising financially aware children today, I think.
Yeah, and you put it very politely, financially aware children, very English of you. I say raising money smart kids. So yeah, I like financially aware children. I'll do a poll on my next book. Financially aware children, money smart kids. It will be quite interesting. I'll do a Twitter one later on.
Okay, so I guess let's start. Well, when do you start? When is it incumbent on parents to start getting children aware of kind of money and the value and cost of things?
When they understand, I think. As soon as your child can understand what buying something means, then I think you should encourage them to understand it, understand money. It's like diet, isn't it? As soon as your child can understand what sugar and carbohydrates and fats and proteins and what bread and what meat is and fish is, you should explain to them. Let's not make it a taboo subject. Let's just, don't have to bombard them and make them become an expert in it. They can still have chocolate and sweets. We just got to understand that if they have too much of it, it's a bad thing. Same with money. You can still buy things, but if you spend too much, it's not such a good thing. Just as soon as they understand, I would say 5, 6 when they start school. Yeah,
Okay.
very basic level.
All right, and how do we go about that? And in particular, if we as parents aren't especially money smart ourselves, should that stop us trying to give lessons to our kids about money and how to use it?
I think it should inspire us to do even more. And the reason being is I think when we come into a relationship, I see this time and time again in my office, when a couple get together, what they do is they bring the baggage, the values, the habits of their family, their upbringing together with them in their life. And it takes some time for them to develop their own values independently. So if we as individuals aren't particularly good with money, if we want our children not to be good with money, then do what we did. But if we want them to be fairly savvy with money smart, we're not talking about trying to become a billionaire, but just money smart, then let's try and instill them with the good values. If we want our children to be polite, we install them with good values. If we want our children to have good nutrition, we talk to them about food and how to prepare food. If we want them to be good with money, we should talk about it. And I think there are 3 stages. Okay, and that's kind of like how I broke it with my own children, Ollie and Bella. So we've got like the youngster stage, which I kind of all class up into about 11. And then you've got the 11 to sort of maybe 17 stage, 18 stage, when potentially they're still at home because at 18 they're probably off to university. So that sort of stage. And then you've got the latter years. So I kind of break up. Actually, I'll probably bring that 18 down to about 15, actually, a bit younger. So, you encompass when they start having direct debits and memberships themselves.
Okay, so where do we start then? So with that first phase, where from kind of 5 or 6 years upwards, how are we starting to give these lessons?
Nothing heavy, just conversation, just explaining to them that mummy, daddy goes to work, we earn our money, and then when we earn our money, we buy things with it. And ask them what things cost. Ask them to calculate the change when they get to a certain age. Ask them to say, okay, if I give you 10p and you go and buy some sweets, well, maybe it's a bit more than that these days, isn't it? If I give you £1 and you go and buy some sweets, how much change might you have? It's nothing heavy. It's just that, we've bought a house. This is how much the house has cost. So just nice and light, just so they kind of understand to the level that that child wants to know about money. When you're around the dinner table, just have those conversations, because the British society traditionally is very taboo money. We don't talk about it. Yeah. I think it's like anything. The more things are communicated, the more open it can be. So at that sort of stage, very, very easy. And then when you as a family introduce pocket money, Now, that's individual to the family, where I've got some clients who just don't do it, but a lot of my clients have taken our lead and said, introduce pocket money and then get the child to work and earn that pocket money. Okay, so they can see, okay, I do this effort, I then get a reward. Because that's what life is, isn't it? Unfortunately, we can't just sit down and have this money come to us. We put some effort in and then we get a reward, whatever that effort might be.
Okay, so little household chores, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Little household chores, emptying the dishwasher, tidying the room, maybe tidying the house, that kind of thing. Now, we as a family do it based on their age. So we pay £2 per month for each year of their age. So Bella's 11, so Bella will get £22 per month. Ollie's 13, he'll get £26 per month. And then from that, they will buy their wants, we will buy their needs. Okay, so things like school trips, that's a need, we'll pay for that. Their school uniform, we obviously make sure we pay for that. Holidays and such like. But when my son wants to buy an Xbox game, he'll go and use he has a prepaid card for children called OSPA. He'll use his OSPA card and he'll go and buy that with his own money. If Isabella likes to make slime, and she's actually just going on the squidgy balls, stress balls, she'll buy those ingredients herself using Amazon, but her card's on there, so she'll buy that. So what we're trying to teach them is, okay, you can have things, but things cost money. And you need to start making sure you balance the books, because the biggest problem I see, particularly with some of my wealthier clients, and maybe the children of those wealthy clients, is it's balancing the book, understanding how much things cost, and that money runs out. If you have a capital sum of money, there's not enough, it can run out. So,
okay, and you bring up OSPA cards there, and that's interesting because everything says that we're moving more and more towards a cashless society in the Western world. And can that give lessons in itself, just the use of that kind of card, rather than giving them £5 on a Saturday?
Yeah, I think we started off doing cash, but we don't work in cash ourselves. Everything's electronic. And I sort of spent a bit of time thinking about the pros and cons, the morals around having children have a credit card or a prepaid card. And it's like everything in life. My belief is you could hide it for so long that when they find out, they'll think it's exciting. You can hide using alcohol. You can hide the fact that people smoke for so long. If they find out and it's exciting, my belief is they might want to try it more because it's exciting, it's new. Whereas if you just encompass the fact and explain to people the health risks of smoking and the effects of alcohol and the implications of that, they're more likely to embrace it and understand it. The same with money and plastic, the war on money. You're absolutely right. Training your children, say, look, okay, when they're grown up and they're adults, everything's going to be contactless. Everything's going to be electronic. So I'd rather my children understand that, well, I've got a card, it's no big deal. I just buy things on it when I need it. If I haven't got the money on it, I can't buy it. So we introduced that at quite a young age. I think OSPA allow them from about 8. OSPA actually got a hold. They're doing a revamp on their cards. They've got a hold on new membership at the moment, or September 2018. But there's another one called Go Henry as well. But I just found that one would be a little bit more expensive. But,
okay, just to be clear here, we're not talking about a credit card for kids. We're talking about a prepaid debit card, right?
Yeah, it's a prepaid card. So basically, it's a MasterCard for OSPA. I think Go Henry's a Visa card. So they're the companies that do the transaction. And you, as a parent or a grandparent or a nephew, niece, or a friend, load money onto that card. So from going back to our bank account system, from my bills account, I have a regular standing order payment onto that card on the 1st of every month, which preloads it. And I've got an app, they've got an app, they can see what the balance is, they can check their spending. And yeah, I monitor things. We have a little caveat rule there, because obviously for Ollie, £26 is quite a lot of money, and that can build up very quickly. So we have a rule for both children that they can spend £1 for each year of their age without asking. So if Bella wants to go and buy something for £10, £11, she can just go off and buy it. If she wanted to go and buy something for £20 because she saved some pocket money up, or she had birthday money put on there or something, or Ollie wanted to go and buy something for, say, £20, they would need to check in with us and just explain to us what they were doing and why they were doing it. And what that does for me is just almost like a reality check to say, hey, look, I'm giving you some rope, I'm giving you some leeway here, but I want you to respect it. I want you to make good decisions, and you're not quite mature enough to make completely financial decisions on your own behalf. I want you to come in and just say, hey, Dad, I want this box, this game. I want this, that, and the other. It's going to cost £30, whatever. Are you okay if I buy it? My wife and I, our general response is, have you done a search? Have you looked around? If you can get it at a better price, sleep on it for 24 hours. If you still want it in the morning, then yeah, go ahead. And sometimes they come back and they say, yeah, I don't want it. And that's a good lesson for us as adults. Oh my God, I've seen that new shiny thing that I want. For me, it's maybe a new iPhone or the Apple Watch or a new Mac or something like that. Sleep on it for 24 hours, go back. Do I really want it? Probably not. Probably don't need it. I've got everything I need. I don't really want it. I'm okay. So it's a good lesson for adults to take on board too.
Okay, all right. So then, as things get older and move into that kind of second stage you described, and these days that means we've got things like mobile phone contracts, typically, maybe as we're progressing into teenage years, etc. And that's it kind of changes the ballpark a little bit, doesn't it? It's not just about going and buying sweets and maybe the odd computer game anymore.
Yeah, so at that stage, when they start getting 13 years and older, you can then look at current accounts for them, for children. So you can look at a current account and they might have some regular payments going out of that current account. Like you said, like a mobile phone contract. Maybe they go to cadets or something and they have a subs that they can pay by standing order. So you can then look and talk to them about setting those payments up out of their bank account, and that their pocket money this time might just go into that account that has a debit card, or it might go into that account and onto the OSPA card. So you might split their pocket money. And what you're doing here is you're teaching them that they've got to keep an eye on their payments. So they might only have one or two, so it's not overwhelming. And yet the money's gone in, I've got my payments going out. And it gives them a bit of responsibility, gives them a bit of maturity about money. So we're raising money smart kids. It's just that they understand how money works. We've put the effort in, we've earned it, we've got bills to pay. The idea is we keep some money back. But another key thing that we do as well around this sort of age is we've got to invest. We have to invest as children or young adults, as adults and into our years. We have to invest. We have to put money aside because the state pension won't be enough for us when we get to retirement. So we have to save, we have to invest. And I want my children to embrace that and want to do it. So we started buying a share in a company that they have an interest in. So we started with companies like Netflix, Disney, Facebook, companies that they understood, that they could kind of conceptualize. And I kind of just explained to them how it works. Like, you've got this big company out there. It makes lots of money and they allow you to buy a slice of it. And therefore you participate in that growth of that company. When it makes more money, it grows in value. So your slice, your share goes up in value. And it's been quite interesting to see their engagement in that. It's quite nice. Now, let me be clear. I say it in the book, buying one share is not a great investment strategy. And if you can get the same result by just doing it via like Google Finance or Yahoo Finance and just buying it on a thing, on a spreadsheet, and they can monitor it and see and look at charts and things, then that's absolutely fine. You don't need to go and spend, some of these shares are a few $100s or a few £100 a share. You don't have to buy the individual share. You can just say, okay. But using a junior ISA, okay, it's a great way of getting involved with getting your children interested and understanding they have to invest.
Okay. So it's all about that mindset and setting that mindset early.
Yeah, it's just like, going to school and doing games and PE. The children have to exercise, okay? It's just about making sure that they move their body. I just wish they had a lesson at school about finance. Maybe that's one for the future.
Okay, so then perhaps typically when I was that kind of age, you get to 16, 17 and you start a part-time job, for example, and then you're starting, again, it's taking it to another level then because you're earning your own money directly and you're going to have to manage that kind of thing. And
go ahead, sorry.
Say the hope is that those lessons that you've been given through your childhood then put you in a better position to handle that kind of situation.
Yeah, I hope so, because it's a case of, okay, what we're really aiming for is when they eventually leave your nest and go and set their own home up, that they are money savvy, that they're money smart. They're not super frugal. They're not super flamboyant. They kind of have parameters around their spending. They maybe adopt the money plan as a strategy and they say, okay, this works. And then they can just get on with their life and have fun and enjoy it, because money is just the oil that makes the life go on, doesn't it? We don't want to just be so focused on it that we miss everything that's going on around us, but we don't want to be focused on it because we have to be. We just put a bit of time in, get it set up. So typically the first venture out is around about 18 if they go off to university, or maybe in their 20s if they leave home. And that's really where we want to make sure that they know they've got enough money. They know how much money comes in. They know they have control of their bills. We introduce them to the bank account system, which I covered before. And we've recently just done the Student Financial Survival Guide, which will explain to students how to manage their money through university, explains about their student loans and how much debt they'll be in, so they keep in control of it. So it's a fantastic tool that helps them understand what their best bank accounts are and just make sure that they are focusing on it 15 minutes a month, 20 minutes a month. That's it.
Okay, yeah, not getting in the way of student fun then, hey?
No, definitely not. No, that's never the intention. So,
and how do they get hold of that guide? Because that sounds like something I could have done with when I was a student.
Yeah, absolutely. So below this video, there'll be a link. So there'll be a link that you can click on it. There's a web page you can go on, plug your email address in there. We'll send it across to you. It's about 20 or so pages, I think, PDF. And it's a fantastic guide. I've had some really, really good reviews, had loads of downloads already on it. It goes from go through the 5 steps, making sure your clients, your children set the goals, make sure they're financially well organized, they understand their student loans. It's the money plan almost tailored just for students. So yeah, it's a great document. I've had some good feedback on it.
All right, excellent. Okay, well, I think that's a nice potted journey in 20 minutes or so through childhood and
money
smart kids.
Yeah, great. Well, look, it's great speaking to you, Paul. Thank you so much. Listeners, if you have any other questions, please message me, send me email or send me a message on Instant Messenger, and I look forward to hearing from your questions. You take care.